Hi everyone, I'm Trevor from Coiltek, and today I'm going to have a quick chat with one of our testers who's been using the new GOLDHAWK coils for the GPX 6000 detector for the last couple of months. He's from Victoria. His name's Edgar. He has a YouTube video, the Gold Rush guy, and is quite active on some of the forums as well. But we're pretty excited about releasing these new GOLDHAWK coils to the world. We've got three different sizes. We have a 10x5 size here. We have a 9-inch round size. And we also will be bringing out a 14x9 size. These will all be released on the 28th of July, 2022. So we're really excited about getting these ones out. And yes, we've got a few of them out there testing at the moment. We've had a few videos from a few different people as well, but I'd like to bring Guy into the situation now. Hey, Guy, how are you?
I'm going well, Trevor. How are you?
Good, thank you very much. We really appreciate your support and testing these coils for us. Obviously, you've been running the GPX 6000 now for some time since they've come out, I would say. So yeah. How have you found the GPX 6000 and in the Victorian goldfields?
Yeah, it's definitely a game changer. It has opened up new areas that you thought you'd been through, to then find, even 50 or 60 pieces of shot, but on top of that, finding gold on top of that as well. So yeah, its sensitivity and its depth is quite amazing, and obviously the ergodynamics of it is fantastic as well. So very, very light, flexible, the ability to sort of fold up, and yeah, very, very versatile machine.
Yeah. So you've been taking this machine to areas where you've hunted, like with what, GPZs, GPXs, old machines, SDC maybe even as well.
Yeah.
It's worthwhile taking the machines, like a different machine, back to the same sort of area.
Yeah, it's obviously a different technology. The geosense that my lab have got in the 6000 is fantastic. It really does read the soil well, and the fact that it's a very, very easy to use machine. It's basically a turn on and go machine, which is obviously fantastic, and a lot less of a hassle than some of the previous machines, which it takes a long time to become an expert at them. So
yeah, so many different knobs and switches and settings, which can be good if you're trying to tweak things to the nth degree. But with this new machine being such an automatic and switch and go machine, it's pretty impressive.
Oh, it is. And the other thing is too, Trevor, that occasionally you'll hit the wrong button and not realize it, and you've got it in a different mode. And when you've got switches and things like that, like the obviously the 45 and the 5000 had, yeah, there's a lot of stories of people not realizing a branch has hit one of the one of the triggers on the back of the machine, and yeah, not reason why they weren't finding gold for the past couple of hours. So yeah, it's very simple, very straightforward, but very, very high tech.
Yeah, very high tech. Yeah, with everything running in the background. And I guess, with that geosense, the machine takes a little bit to essentially warm up and for that geosense to work. So things can be a little bit more temperamental with that. But once it settles in and it knows the ground you're working on, it tends to tune in and get a bit quieter, would you say?
Yeah, it definitely it definitely a little bit like a teenager. It takes a little while to get out of bed, but it's very similar to the 7000 as well. Takes a little bit to warm up, and it's really just giving as much information to the detector as possible, and that allows it to become more stable and run well across some of the most mineralized ground in the world. So it does well.
And with the 6000, obviously was 11-inch round mono, 17 slightly elliptical mono, and a 14-inch round double D. The need for more coils in between all those sizes. What's your thoughts on all of that?
Yeah, it's in some ways it's a little bit like tires on a car sort of thing, because we go into different sort of environments. they can be quite rocky, they can be quite bushy. They may, and the other part about it is people just have a liking for they might have a liking for elliptical coils, small elliptical coils, over round coils. Some of them like smaller coils over bigger coils. So a lot of this is personal preference, but the ability to have that personal preference and the ability to actually acquire these coils is obviously a benefit, because if you're comfortable with your detector, you're going to do better out in the gold fields.
Yeah, that's true. And not one sort of, coil type is going to make, you find every target out there. So switching coils is definitely a good thing, especially if you're in a productive area. So with these new Coiltek coils, you've been running them for a couple of months. How have you found them overall? What's your impressions of the new GOLDHAWK series?
Yeah. Look, I've been really impressed with them. So when I've been testing them, I've really been pushing them to the limit. So running them at full sensitivity, running them, in hot ground, areas like Inglewood and Wedderburn and in Victoria, which is notorious.
Lots of mineralization there, is it?
Yeah, which is notorious for that.
Yeah.
Running it in really thick bush. So a lot of the times what I'll do is and you've probably seen in some of the videos. So I've got a backpack on, so I've got all 3 coils, or I've got 2 sets, but usually can only hold 1 set at a time. So I'll run one of the coils for a couple of hours in an area that I think is applicable to that coil, and then flip over to another coil that's probably more set up for that area.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Obviously the areas can determine what coil is going to be best suited to it. So having the small elliptical and a round and a larger elliptical gives you that versatility to chop and change between them all to make sure that you're maximizing coverage through that area. So with the little 10x5 coil, I've seen some good videos of you finding some nice tiny nuggets through there, and I think there was one that I saw as well where you were in the thick of it, literally. Yep. With lots of bush around. How have you found the little 10x5 coil sensitivity and maneuverability?
Yeah, no, really good. And what you'll see in the videos, especially with the 10x5, is I haven't raked any of these areas. These are running over, a fair amount of leaf litter and so forth on top of the ground. They seem to really enhance the shallow targets, which is really, quite beneficial, especially when you are working in the thick undergrowth. And the ability to sort of get them underneath bushes and push them into little nooks and crannies is really good. And I've been impressed with the depth, even from such a small coil. So yeah, overall it's been really good. But I think the major thing that sort of sets it or differentiates that is just how enhanced the signals are in the shallower gold. So.
Yeah, so that's like just that heightened sensitivity, because it's a sort of smaller squashed shape. You're squashing that magnetic field down to improve its sensitivity on the smaller stuff. So would you say you're getting smaller stuff a bit deeper than the standard, or what sort of comments can you make around, because there's always people wanting to know about how does it go against the standard. So
I think a lot of that's very difficult to say, true, because you're not swapping over the standard all the time. So a lot of the work basically all the work I've been doing is really getting out there and testing them. So testing a 10x5 versus another 10x5, and then also testing them against the other coils. So, and also obviously going through all the different performance, touch sensitivity, lead sensitivity, all the things that are quite important in delivering obviously a quality product.
No, very good point. It's not just about testing them against the standard and seeing depth. That's not what it's all about. We all know that the 11-inch Minelab coil is a fantastic coil, and it's been hoovering up as much gold as possible. But when we make these new coils, when you're testing them for us, that's exactly right. You want to test every function smack them into trees, push rocks out of the way with them. You know, how's the cable go? How's the wings feel? How's the whole robustness of the coil feel? How do the coils perform on, you know, deeper targets, shallower targets? There is a, you know, I'm sure you went to the test target in Victoria. There's a test site there,
yeah,
and tested them through there. So, you know, I'm sure that they operated and performed pretty good. But with the 10x5, how do you find, you know, pinpointing and, you know, ability with the coil to really retrieve that target once you're getting closer to it and got it out the hole?
Yeah, obviously with a coil that size, pinpointing's quite easy, and you're not obviously digging a larger hole. Again, I suppose the difference between that and some of the larger coils is that there's a smaller area when you're actually trying to recover the target across the coil. So you just have to be aware of that. But that goes with having a smaller coil. But yeah, no, it's been really, really good at sort of, you know, really honing in, and even where there's been multiple targets, you know, in a hole, being able to sort of pick them up, very similar to some of the VLF corner relic machines and that sort of differentiation. So it's been really good that way.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And so the 10x5, was that one that you were looking forward to when we mentioned to you that was one of the sizes that we were going to do? You know, I know you've sort of said to me a lot that you like that small elliptical size, but
yeah. Look, I suppose one of the things that it's interesting with the 6000, because the 6000 has basically opened up all of the goldfields again. But one of the things that, you know, I try to concentrate on is some of the less known about areas, and areas where typically people wouldn't go in because, you know, the bush might be thicker, or access might be really, really difficult. So you might need to walk in a couple of kilometers to get into an area. So the ability to actually get a small coil in and about those sort of areas is something that's quite beneficial for what I want to do. But that being said, the amount of times that I've sort of parked, and a lot of the parking spots that we do within the goldfields are in surfaced areas, and you basically get out of your car and you're finding pieces with the 10x5, and, you know, people have been over it with STCs and all that kind of stuff previously, and it's still picking them up.
It's just a testament to the GPX 6000 actual workings, isn't it? You know, the way that machine runs, and, you know, chucking on a little 10x5 coil just heightens that sensitivity and complements it so well. So, so what would you say to someone that says, I've got an 11-inch, why do I need a 10x5? You know, what would you say for that person, and you know, how to sort of explain to them why getting another coil is a good thing?
Yeah, I think the main reason is because there's areas where the 11-inch coil, you know, you can't poke into every little nook and cranny. So that's sort of the first part about it. And as I said, the second part about it, I think it really, really enhances the signals, especially on the shallow gold. And you would have seen from some of the videos the majority of the gold that is found is less than sort of 0.05 grams. So, you know, it's smashing targets that are just, you know, very, you know, basically stuff that people typically pan up. So
yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. You know, most of the gold we're finding now are those bigger pickers and specks that people get in their pan, and the 6000 is actually seeing those with this 10x5. So So 10x5, you know, you'd rate that one pretty highly. Certainly one for the kit if people are looking at a second coil for their machine.
Yeah, most definitely. I think it's one of these ones that it's a really good little all-rounder that you can put on. It's light as, and you know, we probably know that the majority in the hobby are probably at our age or north of that. So it really gives them an opportunity to spend a long day out in the gold fields and really enjoy a coil that you can have confidence with if there's any type of gold there that it's going to find.